everyone, artist Dana Haynes here. I'm busy this week basically replacing a hard drive that failed, two of them of my backups, but luckily I saved them offline, so I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Since I have to go through each file individually anyway, now is a good time to add my information to all my artwork. A decade ago, they didn't have metadata that you could insert in your artwork. So when I did all my fractal artwork, this wasn't included. I had included a watermark on everything that I did, but they didn't have metadata back then. So what is metadata? The concept of metadata started at least 21 years ago. Basically, they inserted the title, the description, keywords, and the owner of the page embedded into a web page so that search engines could pick it up better. If you're an artist, a designer, or just a beginner putting your artwork out on the web, this is very important. You want to do this right from the start. They didn't have this 10 years ago. All we had was watermarking, which I'll get into in another episode. It's built-in protection for you, the artist. It gives your copyright information, your contact details, when it was created, by whom and how, and if you're a photographer, you can even add who's in the picture, where it was taken, all kinds of details. Not only does it give somebody a way to get a hold of you if they like your work, it also is a built-in protection saying this is my work. And this is something you want to do right from the get-go, so you don't have to go back and edit things like I have to protect yourself. The gist of it is Google's going to pick up the creator, the credit line, and the copyright notice, so there's no excuse anymore for people just taking artwork off the internet. It's going to show. Knowing how to protect your work is probably one of the most important steps. It's a good habit to get into no matter what your line of work, designer, artist, traditional artist, web designer, whatnot, photographer. You all need to know them. You're basically going to use Photoshop and Lightroom. Those are the programs I'm familiar with. In this particular case, I'm using Photoshop. So I'm pulling on my DeviantArt here, and you can see I'm going to go down to my storage here and pull up all my artwork. I have like 1,100 something, and 57 pages of artwork on there now stored that I have to download for this database that I lost. So pulling it up, I have to edit each one. I'm checking the pixels on it, marking it for download, and I'm going to open it up for free download for a few seconds. I haven't offered them normally for free download. Basically, my plans were to make wallpaper and for phones and TVs and computers, so I never offered it that way before. So I'm going to open it up in Photoshop here. I'm going to get rid of this. And this is what I've been doing all day. Tons of these. It takes a while. So I'm going to check the image size, because the way I save my files is in a particular order, so I'm nice, neat, and organized. If you've ever been a photographer busy in a Christmas season, you understand the need to pull things up quickly. Now I've went down to file info, and I'm going to add the metadata that I was talking about, since I have to pull all these up anyway. And I've already filled mine out, so there you go. Now it's added that to it, and I'm going to save it. And I'm going to save it in my fractal art folder. In the way that I save, basically I do the year, I add what PPI it is, so I know, because I'll have 5 different versions, and I want to know which one's the original, which one's, at 300 PPI. I want to know which one's the lower PPI, because it matters on different products that I make. and I want to know how many inches it is, and I also want to know how many pixels it is, because I work in different mediums. I work in print and I also work on digital, so I need to know those both at a glance. So this is the original file, and I also check to make sure that DH, or whatever you want to use for a symbol, that you've added your watermark there. So I have my watermark, as you can see on there. So I put DH in it, and I also put what file format. So just at a glance, I know. This one, I forgot to change the to PGN, but anyway, I'm stuttering there. So I'm going to add, the last thing I do is, that's the file name. That's the name of the piece. So there you go. That's how I save my artwork, so I can find it. It's nice, neat, and organized. And we're saving. I'm going to have to go back to DeviantArt while this is saving. And I have to edit it back again. And this is the only way. I'm going to re-add my watermark, make sure it's not a free download, and update it. And then I'm going to check to make sure the watermark's there, because I'm paranoid like that. But no, it's just a good, these are just good habits to be in to make sure your art's safe. Boom. And we're going to pull it up, see that the watermark's there, and then I'm done with that piece, and I can move on to the next one and do it all over again. DeviantArt is not pulling them up quickly. There you go, watermark. And that's pretty much how I've been doing things for a long time. So there you have it, now folks. I'm adding the metadata in a nutshell, and it should be the first step before you ever do anything. It was the first thing I wanted to bring to you about the art business, getting online, what you should do. First step is protect yourself. But the biggest thing I wanted you to get out of this particular video is how I organize my files. If you don't have some fancy software like in studios and you need to stay organized, this is the best way I found to do it. So I'm really thankful that at the beginning I was kind of conscious of being an organized person and developed my own little system. Yours may be different, you may have different needs, but at a glance, I can look at my stuff and know exactly what I need to know without opening the file. And as you do more artwork, this is going to be more and more important to you as time goes along. I've done a lot of artwork, and it's real important to me now, looking back, that I'm putting a database back together, that I did this. And you're going to have more artwork than you actually imagine as you go along, even practicing. You know, even if you're a traditional artist, you're going to save it so you can upload it online, and you want to keep those files nice and neat because you don't want to waste your time. You get heavily into digital art, not having to right click on everything and open up the properties to see what it was, when, and all that wonderful stuff is a godsend. You just quickly glance through a folder and there it is. So this is something I would have wanted to know right back, what, 1996 when I started all this, how to keep on top of it and stay organized. Would have helped me a lot. I had to go back and redo it until I got a system down that worked for me. And your system may be different, but these are the kind of things that you want to keep in mind when you're saving your file names. You know, they come up with numbers first, so you want to put the date in there first. I put the year in there first, so I'd always have the top year on top. Think about what information that you need out of the file so you don't have to click on it all the time, that you can see it right off the bat. Like I needed the PPI right off the bat, I needed the inches, I needed the pixels, I needed to know what kind of file it was. You don't want to forget what you named the piece, so I put that on the tail end. And then in the usually I create a folder for that because I usually have more than one. And you'll find that you end up editing a lot. different sites have different file sizes, look better. You'll learn about that as you go, but you'll end up with 10 different copies of the original art piece. So you want to keep your art intact, your original intact. That way you can find it quickly, edit it for the right size, you know, knock down the DPI so you don't give out a full version on social media, stuff like that. Just tips and tricks. This was one of my best tips. It keeps me going and organized and able to work quickly through several sites at one time. So I hope you found it valuable. If you found this video useful, please click the like button down there. Let me know. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Ring my bell there so you get more updates for future videos like this. If you have any questions, be sure to comment down below. If there are videos or how-tos you want done in video, again, comment down below. I'm so grateful you're here. I appreciate you watching, and we can grow more content like this with your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.